Today we are talking about reverse FMEA, and welcome Beata amongst us. And I give you immediately the stage. So please, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. So my name is Beata Varga. I'm a VD QMC trainer. Good afternoon for everybody. As Adam mentioned, today's topic is the reverse FMEA. So what is the reverse FMEA? It is a proactive audit of an existing FMEA to validate its assumptions, identify missing failure modes, and confirm that prevention and detection controls are effective in the real-world manufacturing environment. Through a go-see or shop floor approach, cross-functional teams observe the actual process, try to create defects, challenge the controls, and then update the FMEA with any new findings or identified weaknesses to improve process robustness and prevent failures before they occur. So the goal is clear: validation of predefined PFMEA and uncover hidden defects on the production line. What is the key factor here? Cross-functional team, and of course to identify the potential failure modes, what is existing in the real world. So let's also look at the advantages of doing reverse PFMEA. First, it helps us increase accuracy by directly comparing the theoretical PFMEA with what actually happens in the real operation. We make sure that our risk analysis truly reflects the reality. Second, it supports the process improvement.
Bea, is it only for me or you are muted?
I think that Bea is muted.
Yeah.
I don't hear her as well.
Okay. Sorry. So nobody. Okay, sorry. Back to the beginning. Okay.
Your name is Beata Varga, and you will be.
So my name is Beata Varga. I'm a VDA QFC trainer. Today's topic is the reverse FMEAs. Okay, so again.
No, it's the last one 20 seconds or 30 seconds.
No, it was a little bit more. So I was muted.
No.
Yeah?
Again, just the last 20 seconds, last 30
really?
seconds.
And,
yes.
And how can it be? Somebody muted me.
Could be.
Could be. So let's start from here, for example.
Yes, please.
Okay. So first, what are the advantages of the reverse PFMEA? First is increase the accuracy. So it helps us to increase the accuracy by directly comparing the theoretical PFMEA with what actually happens in the real operation. We make sure that our risk analysis truly reflects the reality. The second is supports the process improvement. By trying to create defects in a controlled way, we can identify weaknesses very early before this defect reaches the customer. And the third one, it helps us reduce the failures. Reverse FMEA is not only finds new issues, but also prevents repetitive failures because we are forced to do a real root cause analysis and strengthen our controls. And finally, reverse FMEA helps with fulfilling audit requirements. Several OEMs like Ford, GM, Stellantis, or Renault, and even some tier 1 suppliers like Autoliv expect suppliers to apply reverse PFMEA. So it's not just a good practice, but it's also a requirement from the OEMs and the bigger suppliers. So overall, reverse PFMEA improves accuracy, prevents failures, drives process improvement, and ensures compliance with customer expectations. Let's start with Ford requirements. So I would like to show you all of these OEM requirements. These requirements you can also find in the IATF website at the customer-specific requirements. So let's start with the Ford. According to Ford rules, organizations must have a process to make sure that for every new launch and reverse FMEA event is completed once the equipment is installed and running. This is done in 2 steps, first at the equipment manufacturing and then again after the final installation in the supplier's plant. So this is, you have to focus on both. Okay, so first at the manufacturer and after that at your plant. Now what happens in the reverse FMEA? Unlike the traditional FMEA that is done mostly on paper, here design engineers, process engineers and operators should work together directly on the shop floor. They should intentionally try to make bad parts. They should try to defeat the error proofing, and they should look for failure modes and causes that were not identified before. The purpose is to discover additional risk and opportunities, strengthen the controls, and update the FMEA with improvements that make the process more robust. And as always, evidence must be available. Reports, records, or the updated FMEA, which are showing us the results of the reverse FMEA sessions. So this is the Ford requirement, and then on the next slide, I will show you the other customer requirements. So let's move on the GM requirements. GM requires that every organization has a process in place for the effective review of PFMEA. So it's not clearly defined that it must be the reverse FMEA method, but it should be an effective review of PFMEA for all manufacturing parts and processes. And this has to happen at least once per year. And this during this annual review, special attention must be given to critical, safety, and high-risk items. And to support this, GM expects organization to use tools such as reverse PFMEA. So this is only an example to fulfill this requirement, or other similar methods to really challenge the process and ensure that the PFMEA stays alive. The outcome of this review must be clear and well documented. That means an updated PFMEA and a record of the changes made, or a record that no changes were necessary. And also a clear identification of the review team. If the team identifies critical safety or high-risk issues, there must be also an action plan in place with defined responsibilities and timing. And one important point in this GM requirement that simply reviewing the PFMEA because of a corrective action does not fulfill the GM's requirement. So the review must be proactive, considering all critical and high-risk aspects, and not just the latest problem. So not only a review and corrective action, but it must be planned. So compared to the Ford, where the focus is on the conducting reverse FMEA events, GM places more emphasis focus on an annual structured FMEA review that includes reverse FMEA as one of the methods. So this is not an obligatory tool, but it's a possible best practice for this FMEA review. Okay, now let's look at Renault. In the Renault standard, reverse FMEA is clearly required as part of the manufacturing process design output. The expectation is that organizations use RFMEA not only to update the FMEA assessments, but also to shift the mindset from corrective action to preventive actions. This is an important point. While Ford focuses on mandatory reverse FMEA events for new launches, GM focuses on annual FMEA reviews. And the reverse FMEA is only just a possible tool or optional tool. Renault requirement highlights the preventive aspect. They want to ensure that we don't just react to problems, but we proactively use reverse FMEA to strengthen the process and avoid issues before they happen. And finally, we have the Stellantis. Stellantis also requires formal reverse FMEA process, but here the focus is very clear. It must be a proactive approach. The supplier needs to use reverse PFMEA to identify new potential failure modes and confirm the existing ones directly on the shop floor. An important part of this requirement is that the reverse PFMEA activities must be scheduled and tracked. So it's not enough to do them occasionally, but there has to be a plan, frequency, and evidence of completion. And from audit perspective, Stellantis is very concrete about what they expect. Auditors will check if the supplier is really challenging the process by intentionally trying to create defects at the workstation. They will also check if the frequency of these sessions is defined, whether it's on a regular basis or based on a risk analysis. And finally, they will also review the planning and the status of these activities to ensure that the scheduled reverse FMEA are actually being carried out or not. So compared to the other OEMs, Stellantis sets a very structured and auditable expectations for reverse FMEA. So now let's look at how often should reverse FMEA be performed. So in most cases, it should follow a different schedule. It's very important that we should have a defined schedule. But the schedule can also be triggered or adjusted by certain events. For example, if there is a customer complaint or if we introduce a product or process change, or when launching a new product, or if internal scrap is detected, or if there is an increase in the scrap rate, and also as preparation for audits, of course. You can use also for this purpose. Also the reverse FMEA. It's important to highlight that these reverse FMEA tests are carried out one by one, not in parallel, in order to make sure that the safety measures are fully respected. So it's very important to consider these safety measures. And so the frequencies not only on calendar base, so you have to have this schedule, but not only on calendar base, but also event driven. So ensuring that the PFMEA always reflects the actual process conditions. So if you have to change the frequency or the events, you can do in these cases. It's not a problem. It's better if you do it like that. Okay, this slide shows the reverse FMEA process structured around the PDCA cycle. Of course, we start with the plan. Here we define the scope of the reverse FMEA. We select the workstation, the line or machine to focus on, and we prepare a multidisciplinary team. As I mentioned already, typically design engineering, process engineering, quality, and production. And we also review available performance data, KPIs, such as reject, rework, internal failure, customer complaints, or maybe audit reports also, and help us. Then the next step is the do phase. On the shop floor, we compare the real-life process flow with the documented one. We check for the presence and the effectiveness of prevention and detection controls, which are already given in the actual FMEA and the control plan. All activities are documented in action plan, and we also use observation and operator interviews to capture practical insights. So the operators can help us or support us very well in this reverse FMEA. So use it, please use them. Then comes check phase. Here we verify the effectiveness of prevention controls and detection controls, as well as operator discipline. In other words, we test if the controls are really work as intended. And finally, in the act phase, based on what we learned, we update the design and process FMEA, design or process FMEA, the control plan, and also the standard work instructions. We also share these lessons learned across other areas. This is the so-called Yokotan or knowledge capitalization. I think you know it. So this is the lessons learned. And yeah, so that is the PDCA logic. This is not only a one-time event, but a structure improvement cycle. So you can keep this PDCA cycle at the reverse PFMA also. And to close, I want to make a connection to the AAJ control plan manual. In this reference, in this book, reverse FMEA is highlighted as one of the tools that supports the effective application of the control plan. Maybe you know this this AAG reference book. The manual provides a clear definition of the reverse FMEA, explains why it is important, and gives guidance on what to do and how to do it. Also, it includes examples of good practices, best practices from the industry. So you can, I think, you can read it from the manual. These points. This shows that reverse FMEA is not just a customer-specific requirement for Ford, GM, Renault, or Stellantis, but it's also recognized as a best practice to keep the FMEA and the control plan aligned with reality. So the message is clear, I think. Applying reverse FMEA systematically helps us move from a reactive mindset to a preventive, proactive approach, which is exactly the expectation of both our customers and also the industry standards. So reverse FMEA is not just nice to have. It's a clear requirement from several OEMs. To summarize the OEM requirements, Ford demands the reverse FMEA events during new launches. GM requires the annual PFMEA reviews supported by reverse FMEA as optional tool. Renault emphasizes the shift from corrective to preventive action, and Stellantis requires a structured, auditable program of reverse PFMEA in the shop floor. So I think the key message is clear for everybody to why we need this reverse FMEA. This helps us bridge the gap between the theory and the reality. So I think that was from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. And I don't know, Adam or Mariana, you will turn.
So thank you very much, Belle. I think it's very exciting that to check how the theory works in the practice, right? This is basically this is it. Right. So if something happens, if there is a customer claim, then this is the right moment to check out that this happens. Why? Because we thought about it, but we didn't keep all the work instruction, everything what we defined, or there is something else what we haven't thought of, and then we can implement everything into the FMEA. I think that this is very much what should be done after always after every customer claim, and I'm not sure that the companies are regularly doing it, right? Yes, so it's much more that exactly. Okay, let's make the AD, let's make not a big deal about it, and let's forget it, and let's continue the same process what we have done so far.
Yeah.
Okay, but this should not be. So dear everyone around the table, if you need some support or consulting about this topic, we have great experience with production companies, so do not hesitate to knock on our door. We will be more than happy to answer to. And now some the next upcoming trainings. Thank you, Mariana, for establishing this list for us. So Training. Bell, it was a question which just came.
Yes.
From Milica.
So we have some prepared training material for that. So if there is a demand for that, then of course we can offer a training, but not only theory, but with practice together. So it makes sense to do it at on-site, not online. Online we can do online, of course, but this is really just a theory and I don't know, some hours training, but it makes sense to do it on-site with practice together. So with the team together, go to the show floor, go see approach.
You're welcome. Go to Gemba, right? So
go to Gemba.
So we have some material. If there is a need, or Milica, if you think that there could be a need, please contact me or Mariana Beretic, and we will be more than happy to quote you and to discuss about it. Okay. So coming back to the upcoming training lists, we have automotive core tools, 2 days. Again, I don't think that I should tell it, but it's important for the 6.3 auditors. We have also another needed training, which is needed for the 6.3, the IATF auditor training. It will be a contact training in Kragujevac, mid of December. And the classic 6.3 training will be also in Kragujevac from 19th of December. And as usual, at the end of each training, it will be a certification exam as generally the last day of this training. So we have still some place. You are warmly invited to participate on trainings. Okay, thank you very much. We are ahead of time. I think that it was compressed, condensated. Thank you very much for the participation. And if there is no more question, I wish you a good and restful weekend. Thank you, everyone.